Now at 10, that much-needed wintry weather is here in Southern California, bringing rain and hail and snow, but also raising concerns for our recent burn scar areas. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the news at 10. I'm Rick Chambers.
And I'm Corrine Winter. The first significant storm system of the season is expected to stick around until Monday. And
the National Weather Service has issued several warnings for the LA area, especially in and near those recent wildfire burn zones. Now, we're already seeing some debris flows out there, the Palisades for one, Topanga Canyon and Woodland Hills. Officials are also warning about the toxic runoff as well, urging residents just to stay alert.
And tonight we have team coverage of the storm and what it means for our local burn scar areas. Angelique Hockaday and Carlos Saucedo are live in the Palisades and Eaton fire zones. But let's begin with Kai. He's here in studio tracking the latest. Kai.
Yeah, thanks very much, Rick and Corrine. Good evening, everybody. Yeah, the storm system here in Southern California, snow, rain. We've seen thunderstorms popping off here and there, especially through some of the beach communities. And we've also seen some hail making their way out of the skies. And look at this active 5 live max Doppler tonight. There's a thunderstorm that just popped up in the Santa Monica Bay near the burn scar area there in the Pacific Palisades. And unfortunately, that area is now under a flood advisory until we get to about midnight hour tonight. And we're seeing the flood watches making their way through the Eaton Canyon burn scar communities and also up near Fillmore, Thousand Oaks, the Moore Park area. They're seeing a good deal of heavy rain that has been taking place throughout the evening hours and now here into the 10 o'clock hour. Here it is, the burn scar region of the Pacific Palisades fire, which takes us all the way up to the Dirt Mulholland area before you make your way over to the hill into Encino, Tarzana, Woodland Hills. They're picking up some moderate to at times, as you can see along Topanga Canyon, pockets of some heavier rainfall. And unfortunately, we have seen some mud flow, some debris flow in that particular section. Taking a look at the other burn scar area, the Eaton fire. This is the San Gabriel Valley foothills as we make our way out towards Altadena. Again, rain continuing to move in to that section of the San Gabriel Valley as well. More rain making its way through the basin out towards Orange County and further north into Yorba Linda, Walnut, and you could see the 241 down there just to the east of Santa Ana. And then we're making our way along the 15 from Lake Elsinore further south towards Murrieta, the Temecula communities. And look at the snow that is falling tonight up in the Grapevine. We could see anywhere between about 6 to 8 inches once we make our way into tomorrow morning. But again, the big story is our burn scar regions here in Southern California, the Pacific Palisades. That's been a tricky situation throughout the entire day today. And for more on how residents are dealing with the rainfall, we want to turn you over to our KTLA's Angelique Hockaday. She's there in Pacific Palisades.
Well, Kai, listen, it's been raining here pretty much on and off all day long. We're live at a staging area at Will Rogers Beach, and this parking lot that I'm in is just basically one big giant puddle, which means up in the hills, it's a more dangerous situation. From the deadly Palisades fire nearly 3 weeks ago to Sunday's rainstorm that left some roads shut down for hours.
This slide that appears to have happened here right on Palisades Drive is exactly what we were worried about.
Palisades residents who were allowed to check in on their homes today say while they're thankful to have a home,
so many houses have been lost, and we're happy that ours seem to have been saved, but the mud's a problem.
Their big concern now is mudslides, and with good reason. Palisades Drive had a hard closure after a mudslide started around 2 p.m. at Palisades Drive and Santa Ynez Road, causing the street to be covered with mud and debris. And up the coast on PCH and Topanga Canyon, bulldozers could be seen scooping up mud and debris that's potentially carrying toxins from the burned areas. Last week, county and state watershed departments worked to divert any mud flow away from waterways by installing K-rails, placing these green filters next to storm drains to filter out toxins, and handing out sandbags to people in impacted areas. While residents say they're also doing what they can to stay prepared as the rain continues into Monday.
We've had 2 or 3 Zoom meetings. We had a Zoom meeting this morning with as many of the neighbors that could participate. We had a representative from the mayor's office on the call.
Now, we just got word that all Malibu schools will be closed tomorrow due to these mudslide safety concerns. So at this point, Santa Monica schools remain open. For now, they're reporting live in Pacific Palisades. Angelique Hockaday, back to you in Hollywood.
All right, Angelique, thanks for that update tonight. And meantime, neighborhoods impacted by the Eaton fire are hunkering down for the night after spending the weekend preparing for mudslides and debris flows. City workers and first responders installed K-rails in the most vulnerable areas and set up sandbag distribution centers for residents.
Yeah, Carlos Sacedo joining us live now from Pasadena, where he spoke with emergency crews standing by just in case things go south. Carlos.
Rick, Corrine, good evening. It has started to drizzle once again at this hour, but no major issues to report. As you mentioned, first responders, they've been out here on standby, pre-positioned in this burn scar area. Tonight, the K-rails behind me, just one line of defense. Light, steady rain fell in this burn scar area for much of Sunday evening. In the Hastings Ranch foothill community of Pasadena, homes that weren't wiped out by the Eaton fire now face a new threat.
On one hand, we're sitting there going, oh, thank God our house is still here. And then the next hand is, okay, are we going to make it through any mud floods?
The main concern now, mud and rock slides due to the rain. The city of Pasadena has an operation in place to keep these neighborhoods safe and protected from flash flooding. Fire crews have teams deployed throughout much of the burn scar areas to mitigate any potential debris flows and assist if need be.
What we have them doing right now is basically reconning the area, driving the area, and we're using our map system to identify any potential hazards. We're marking ingress, egress routes that if there was a potential emergency in this area, that we're here for the citizens. We're familiar with the area, the crews are familiar with the areas and how to get in and out so they can be a better assistance.
Crews are pre-positioned in areas deemed at high risk. Truckloads carrying sandbags have been called in. Residents have been given sandbags to keep their homes dry as this rainstorm rolls through. Heavy rainfall may lead to potentially life-threatening conditions. So if you live near a burn scar area, keep in mind that flash flooding can happen quickly and sweep away people, vehicles, and structures. K-rails are in place to divert any floods.
The K-rail system, they've identified just based off of like the locations and the potentials of, hey, if water were to come down here, that would protect and keep the water and the debris within the street footprint.
Residents are encouraged to have an emergency plan in place and be ready to evacuate at a moment's notice. And tonight the threat is not over. As you see the rain coming down, there is a flood watch in place that runs through Monday morning. We're live in Pasadena. Carlos Salcedo, KTLA 5 News.
All right, Carlos, we'll check in the next hour.